There are shows in this world that we will never fully understand, except Ghost Adventures. We have watched every episode to build our obsession, our fandom.
Watching alongside each other because no one we know really gives a damn. Watching Zach and crew catch groundbreaking proof of the paranormal, inspiring us to explore our own interest in otherworldly phenomena. This is our podcast. We are Paranormal Putas.
Ooh, that felt good.
I could tell in your eyes you were going to say something, so I tried not to say anything. I could see it in your eyes.
I like that your mind went there because I don't know. My mind went somewhere totally fucking different. You remember that one song? You ain't got to say too much from the look in your eyes.
I can tell you what I feel.
Which is just so weird.
Whoa, bro.
Sorry, everybody. Hey, it's me, Leah.
And it's me, Bethany.
And we're the Paranormal Putas. You gotta forgive us. It's late on a Friday night after Thanksgiving, and I'm feeling it.
Yeah. I think we're both real tired, and I was just like high all day, so
Party on. Yeah, good times.
But anyways,
Anyways, we have a very excellent episode. We have our part 2 of
the live sessions, really.
Yeah.
Where were we at for those? I hate you so much. So this is the part 2 for our live sessions at Curia Arcanum's House of Curiosity. Ooh. And in this episode, we talked to Consuelo, who was the one who kind of pretty much set this whole thing up.
Yeah, man. So shout out to Consuelo. She's super awesome. We actually first met her at an Easter event we did at the Glass Coffin here in Austin, Texas. And she was just really cool to talk to. And she hit us up like months later and invited us out for tacos, and it was love at first bite. No, she's super awesome and just very in tune. And I'm like, the first time we sat down and met, like I was crying with her and shit. So that's just the effect she has on people.
Yeah, truly, fucking truly. She's a magical being, and we hope you enjoy this interview with her.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you saw about to get loud. You saw.
Awesome. Are we ready?
All right, yeah, I think we're ready.
And we are rolling.
All right. Hey, everybody. It's me, Leah.
And it's me, Bethany.
And we're the Paranormal Putas. Woo. And we are super, super excited. We are speaking with Consuelo today, and we are sitting here. Where are we sitting?
We are at Curia Arcanum out in Austin, Texas.
Oh, man. We're like surrounded by skulls and monkey paws and all kinds of really cool stuff.
There's a jackalope over here.
There's probes behind you.
Oh, gosh.
There's a mermaid. A Fiji mermaid.
This could get wild. But we have Consuelo here. Awesome East Side girl. What up, East Side? Woo, 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 woo. And she is going to share with us some of her personal paranormal experiences. And I think really before we jump in, I think it's kind of cool because we met you at a different event at the Glass Coffin, and we just kind of started talking, and then you reached out, and you're the whole reason we're here. So thank you for that and spreading the love.
Well, what I have to say is that we're from the East Side, and we got to represent that side of town.
Yes.
And we're Latinas, we're Chicanas.
Woo!
And we are Austin-based.
Yes.
You know, and we just got to support each other as women and as ladies from the East Side, just straight up.
Yes. I love that. Oh, I love you so much.
Girl, we've sat at Joe's, laughed and cried, and
I know.
Can we beautiful?
Oh, yeah.
For those that don't know, okay, so Consuelo really got us when she was like, let's go have, lunch or something. And she's like, let's meet at Joe's. And I was like, and For those that don't know, Joe's is the spa, East 7th Street. We've been eating their carne guisado tacos since like birth.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
when she said that, we were like, okay, it's meant to be. Like,
You had me at hello.
yeah, really.
You had me at Joe.
So we bonded, and it's true. We laughed, we cried, we got to know each other over some delicious Tex-Mex, and here we are.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, for sure. Sisters from another mister.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, Consuelo, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience and provide a brief overview and background of your experience with the paranormal?
Well, I come from a family that is more into spiritualism than they ever were any type of religion. I started off really, really young, hanging out with one of my great uncles who was from Mexico. He's from Saltillo. My family kind of migrated from Mexico to Saltillo to Monterrey to United States. And so basically, as I was growing up, he always had like the most insightful things to say. And I remember him always telling me, whenever you get older and whenever you're playing in the grass, whenever you're climbing the trees, you need to say thank you because they're going to be here longer than you ever will. And it gave me this appreciation for nature. And in that is where I started noticing all of these different occurrences in nature and how powerful everything is outside of ourselves. I would say that some of the greatest stories were from my aunt, who was my great aunt who raised me. Her name was Consuelo as well. And there's actually a school named after her, where she would say that one of her brothers would come and see her from the other side and bring her gifts. And I remember as a little kid just like being so curious about the types of gifts that he would bring and the stories that she would say about going into like the different caves in Mexico, and they would do some kind of spiritual worship there. Because I can't ever remember being in a Catholic school or Catholic churches or really going to church at all.
Yeah.
It was all about nature. Even with my mother's side, which it seems like they were more indigenous. And I don't know if you guys ever have had any family members that do any of the sweeping for the the evil eye. They have you laid up on the bed, sweeping you with a broom, and next thing you know, there's like an egg, and then they're frying that shit up. It's like, we'll just turn it into a taco or something, And so that's the kind of family that I grew up in.
Yeah.
You don't feel good, you don't really go to the doctor, you get some kind of tea, and unless you're like really dying or something, you're gonna go to the doctor. But we just really had this experience as kids of just being fascinated. And I say us because one of my nephews I'm very close to, he got to experience this as well, where our uncle could hypnotize people. He taught us how to play different types of games, like with cards, and was really great with mysticism. And even my mom had told me that, because this is all on my dad's side, that some of those uncles were really into mysticism as well. My tío Gustavo, who helped raise me, he had a wife who had died, and this has been told to be by one of my other sisters, that he cut all of her hair off and put it in one of the trees at the houses that they lived at, and it just hung there because he believed that your spirit was attached to your hair. Ironically, I also do hair on the side.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like all these beautiful little stories that interlock, and it makes you think about greater things than yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I was reading the definition of paranormal, and the definition of paranormal is anything that science can't explain. Mm-hmm. And there are so many things around us that you can't explain. Like, how is it that you got in your car and maybe somebody a few cars ahead of you got into a wreck, and had you just for 1 second done something different, that could have been you? We can't explain that. I mean, just to the simplest form. For me, I love my life. I love everything about it. I love all the things that I've learned, whether good or bad. And I've come to this place in my life where I am accepting of everything that is given to me And the things that do not fit for me, I refuse. You know, so part of that is that spirituality that my aunts and my uncles from Mexico taught me.
That's really awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's
I
badass.
love that. Yeah, beautiful. But I agree. I love that deeper kind of connection, right? It's something more. It's something seeing beyond yourself and understanding that it's all connected in a way. And and I
Absolutely.
love that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And when anybody comes into this store, I like to invite them to look at everything in here because it all has a purpose and it all teaches us something. There's different types of theology in the library that we have. There's different artifacts in here from a lot of different cultures,
Yeah.
you know, and it's an expression of that culture. It's an expression of what we love in this store and what we want to do with the guests that come in here is invite them, create a community, and have a love that we share with them because they love the same things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's beautiful.
What? No, I love
so
it. It is
cute.
beautiful.
It is. So, at what age did you have your first paranormal experience that you would consider?
I would say that it started really young. I mean, some people think that, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but just even seeing little electrical lights around me. I don't know. I know that you guys have told me about your home. I remember pulling up my blanket at night and looking down and just seeing like little electrical beams jumping like beings. It maybe look like beans. I don't know. But just kind of like little sparks. That's what it looked like to me. And I just could never figure out what it was. And from that, just hearing my name called sometimes as a little kid. And, you know, I was never one of those little girls who was like, oh, I'm going to dress like a princess today. I'm gonna go and pretend that I'm getting married. I was never one of those girls. I was one of those girls that was like, I'm going to take this leaf, and I'm going to take some of this dirt, and I'm going to take some of these seeds, and I'm going to make myself a little potion right here, you know? And it's like a big old mud pie, but it was my magic.
Yes,
It was my magic.
yes.
I love that.
I did the same thing.
Yeah. I
I-
just looked over at my best friend right here, and all we would do growing up is like kind of play in the dirt or make little mud there, like kind of pretend we. That's just so crazy. Sorry.
And I don't know where that came from, really.
right.
You know, it's something that was like already in my DNA.
Yeah.
You know, even cooking today. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Like Water for Chocolate.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's been a while, but yes.
That's one of my favorite movies because I could totally relate to it.
Yeah.
Because I love to cook. And I love to focus my love energy into cooking for people.
Yes.
Now they wind up gaining a lot of weight,
It's from the love.
but it's from
That's how
the
much I
love.
love you. It keeps you warm.
Exactly. So it's that kind of thinking that I have, and I like to project to others, you know. It's my love energy. And if you want to call that a spell, you want to call that something other than what we understand, then maybe that is paranormal,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just like some hot chiles and jalapenos on
Maybe
it.
it's just some good food.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it's. I love that because I mean, it plays into kind of what we were talking about earlier. Intent, magic. You know,
Yes.
like you're saying, it's just I intend to show how much I love you through this food or through whatever actions, and then you feel it because it's just an energy transference.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's all part of spirituality.
Yes.
You know, I think that people get spirituality and religion confused.
Yes. Very much so.
You know, I have never really fallen into any kind of, I would say, hardcore religion that I feel 100% about, like that is a
Yeah.
denomination. I know who my higher power is, and I know what I call my higher power. And for everybody else, you can do you.
Yeah.
You know, for me, all the things that have happened in my life when it comes to paranormal, when it comes to being insightful on things that are spiritual, even up to being able to sense people's energy, that comes from my higher power because I can't do that on my own. You know, I also like to draw, I do art. And that's one of the closest times that I feel to my higher power, because it's not me using my hands. It's something different.
Yeah.
Absolutely something different. Just like when I cook.
Yeah, you're channeling into that something
that's
else.
the source.
The source. I
The
like that.
source.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I kind of want to. Oh, can I go back to something really quick? Because
Absolutely.
you mentioned hearing your name being called when you were younger, and I've had similar experiences. And I'm kind of curious if you ever brought that up to anybody, and if so, how was it explained to you? Like, what was that?
So I don't really talk to my family about this because they have a completely different belief system, and we weren't raised by the same set of parents. They were raised by my biological parents. I was given away at a younger age to my great aunt, my great uncle, and then my tío Gustavo was from Mexico, and he and my great aunt were brother and sister. What has been explained to me, it's like when you hear your name called, some people say don't answer, but I will. I will answer. I'll say yes. Yes. What is it? What is it? Because I'm fearless.
Because I'm the complete opposite. I'm like, nope, gotta go. Yeah, I don't see nothing over there. I don't know.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What is it? What is it that I'm being, that's my appointment? What is it? Do I have an appointment with you? Is that what it is? Is that why you're calling my name? Never really had a great explanation about being with my name being called, but I would hear it. You know, even as a little kid, even still today, you know, sometimes I'll hear it and I think, okay, well, you know, what is it that's channeling? Is it a thought that I've already had that I need to finish, or something that I haven't finished and my inner self is telling me that I need to close up this appointment, you know?
Yeah.
Could be with another person. It could, we don't know when we're entertaining angels either. You know, and sometimes the angels aren't pretty.
Yeah. That's what I hear. I hear they're really scary looking.
Well, not only that, but that angel can look exactly the opposite of what you are gonna even think. It could be, you know, there's two different types of angels, and some of those are disguised with horns or whatever. You know, sometimes it's people. You know, that is your appointment. So sometimes if you hear your name, you don't know if you're entertaining an angel or not.
Have you had anything, I guess, memorable happen when you answered to that name calling?
You know, I will tell you this. I have a lot of sleep paralysis. I hate to talk about it because then sometimes when I start to talk about it, it'll happen.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I've heard of that being a thing.
So one of the times that I can say that I heard my name, it's because I had to wake up from a sleep paralysis. And when I woke up, the bed was up against the wall. Like it had been in the middle of the room. I was in sleep paralysis. I heard something growling around me, and then all of a sudden I just heard my name, and it woke me up, you know.
Yeah.
I was able to move, and the bed had shifted all the way to the wall.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was one of the scariest events that I've ever had within myself. The other one has been, I've seen somebody go into full possession.
Oh my
Full
gosh.
possession.
Well, well, can you tell me more?
So, not far from here is a place called Turnersville. I had a friend, and we're just going to call him T. So, T had a trailer that was out in Turnersville, and he would tell me it's haunted. I didn't believe it. I'm like, whatever, you know, you're so full of shit, whatever, you know. And I had another friend of mine who had been in a terrible accident when they were a child and had part of their scalp and head cut off.
Oh my goodness.
So she had like a flat part on her head, and it was a complete accident. Her dad was outside and had an Aggie, and she just ran by at the wrong time and just slice.
Oh.
And she told me, you know, since that happened, I see visions and I see things that I never saw prior to that event. You know, she was
Yeah.
like 8 or 9. And she also knew T, and I had told her about what he had told me, and she was like, well, let's go out there. I was like, all right, let's go. So we go out to his trailer, and he's like, nobody can live here because they will leave. I haven't been able to rent it out for more than a couple of weeks at a time. So she said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put a mirror on the floor right over there. She's like, everybody's going to leave except for you, Consuelo. And I'm like, great. Great. So she says, I want you to get on the floor, lay on your belly, and look into the mirror, and then look over your shoulder. She's like, and so she lays on the floor next to me, and we're both looking in that mirror. To this day, I don't know what this was. I looked back over my shoulder through the mirror, and it had to have been some kind of threshold. I saw somebody standing in the hallway, like I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. I saw a guy standing in the hallway, and I had been through that trailer twice to look at how big it was. You know, it was a dump. Like my friends, like a freaking. Nobody wants to live here. You know, I know why. It's not that it's haunted. Slumlord. And so I'm looking back. I'm looking back over my shoulder, and there is a full apparition of a person.
Damn.
And she's like, do you see that? And I said, yeah. And so we go outside, and I'm shook. I am shook. And my friend was like, so what happened? And I told him. He was like, that's crazy. The chick that I was with, she said, here. She picked up a rock. She's like, carry this. So I started carrying it with me, and I would stick it in my pocket all the time. She's like, you just need to keep it. One day we're over at that house again, and they're actually doing like a podcast, a radio podcast, because they kept on hearing stories about this trailer being haunted. And so this one radio station wanted to go out there, and they brought a psychic. Okay? Now this is crazy. The psychic is out there and is trying to channel whatever is in that trailer. My friend had a girlfriend. All of a sudden, that girlfriend, her name was Diane. Diane's face went blank. Her eyes turned black. We could not hold her down. She was screaming and yelling. Now, the people from the radio station were on the other side of the trailer, and you could hear them. And they're like, the psychic was like, there's something going on here. I don't know what it is. Is somebody channeling something? Well, yeah, that chick Diane was in full possession. John, my friend, the girl, I don't want to say her name, we'll call her Jay. Jay is like, do you have that rock? I was like, yeah. I pulled the rock out of my pocket, forced it into the other chick's hand that's in full possession, and she drops to the ground. And she doesn't remember what happened. Doesn't remember what happened. Now, me and my boyfriend have driven by Turnersville a few times after, and everything is wiped out there. Now there is like a whole new subdivision, and sometimes I wonder, what really went on there? Mm-hmm. Because on the times that I'd gone out there, there was this one tree, and I could hear people whispering there. Mm-hmm. And we would go out there fairly often just to hang out, but I could feel something from that area where there was a tree. Yeah. And you just don't know what happens out in the country like that. When it's, now that it's all developed, who knows if somebody's house is all poltergeist and shit.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, that's got to be.
They left the bodies!
They moved the tombstones!
But they left the bodies!
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, that's comforting as I just bought my house out in the country. Sweet.
Most excellent.
That's wild. I couldn't imagine seeing anything like that,
Yeah.
though. That's crazy.
That's
wild.
like one of those things that I don't ever really talk about.
Yeah.
Because there's so many other things that, like with the sleep paralysis, that I just have to be very diligent about what I say and what I talk about, because that's opening a doorway.
Yeah.
That's opening that threshold.
Yeah.
And I don't like to do that very often. Now, I am fearless. Okay? I'm serious. I'm going to get my fearless tattooed on my knuckles.
On your knuckles?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I want y'all to go with me.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
But I have to keep all of that in mind, because I surround myself with an energy that is really protective and really loving, and sometimes you can actually attract things that want to take that from you.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't do that today.
Yeah.
I don't put up with that shit.
Well, I mean, I feel like, that's still fearless. It's just smart. It's just like knowing, being tactful and strategic about, the things you've experienced before. So you can still be fearless and also be like tactful,
Right.
Strategic.
Yeah. And, I have a nephew that's a few years younger than I am. And there was another incident that I remember, and I think I told you ladies about it, that my dad had passed away. And unfortunately, it was a really quick event that happened like right in front of me. My dad died in my arms. He had a massive stroke. On the way out of the house, he had an altar, and the EMS, when they took him out of the house, they were actually able to revive him. But he was already brain dead. I would say maybe about a month after he had passed away and he was buried, in our house, I had gotten up to go and get some water, and you kind of had to do like a walker around. It's like an old school house, the kitchen's like way on the other side of the house. It was built like in the 30s, blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, my nephew was there as well, and he was sleeping on the couch. He was spending the night. Went into the kitchen, grabbed some water, looked into the living room, and saw my dad's full body apparition standing in front of his beautiful altar, because my mom consistently had candles burning. And I was, I rubbed my eyes. I'm like, no, this can't be happening. Looked again, and there was my dad. Okay. Went to my bedroom. I'm like, we're not even talk about this, I was like, I'm gonna go back to sleep. I just haven't had enough sleep. I'm just seeing things. The next morning, my nephew was like, you're real freaking funny. And I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, you know what you were doing? And I was like, what? He said, you kept on pulling on my blankets, and you were flashing a light at me. That's real funny. I mean, because, it's like you guys. We're like brother and sister, because he's not that much younger than I am. And I was like, no, that wasn't me. He was like, yeah. He's like, you were pulling on my blankets, and I put my blanket over my head because I could see the light. And I looked and I said, hey, you know what? I said, last night I saw your grandpa standing right over there. And he was like, yeah. He was like, no, you didn't. I'm like, yeah, I did. And he just always said that after that, he could feel him there. Mm-hmm. And I remember one other in particular time, I was asleep on my mom and my dad's bed after he'd passed away. And I was asleep on my dad's side. And I went into sleep paralysis. And I could feel something coming up through my legs, through my feet, through my body. And I could almost swear that my dad was trying to come through me to talk. Yeah, it was intense. It was intense. So
have you done that before, like channeling people and like talking for spirit?
My nephew and I together have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole different subject, because it's like he's very in tune with that as well. And I have some nieces and nephews that are very in tune with that as well, but we have, and it's basically been my dad at that same house. Now, the house isn't there any longer. With all of the gentrification in Austin, a lot of people have lost their houses either because the taxes are too expensive.
Yeah.
So then these other developers come in and then will do what they got to do to get that property. So it was sold. Okay. I did have a cousin that lived there after a while, and there was like 3 other people that had died on that property. My dad, my mom died there, and then my great-grandmother had died there. And one of my cousins said that sometimes he could smell my mother's cologne. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember if you guys told me that had happened to you guys as well. Where you could smell your loved one's cologne.
Yeah. That's wild. I think that's beautiful, though. I think to be able to kind of have some of those moments, and while scary, I'm sure, like, to kind of look back at it, I don't know, I think it can be really nice to know that they're still kind of there in a way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember last time when we had lunch, Leah was talking about that, how, she was having these experiences. And sometimes I'm jealous of that because I don't get that. I've been told like my third eye is pretty open and like sometimes I do see things, but I mostly brush them off. But also at that lunch that day, you told me I was a brick wall. And that's really, I don't know, I feel like maybe I'm doing it to myself in the sense of like not letting those things happen. I don't know.
Okay, close your eyes real quick. What's the first color that comes to your mind? That's not a color.
I know. Well, I want to say the first color that I see, which is black and green, but the first color that comes to mind, like if I'm thinking of a color, is green.
Green. That's your heart. That's your heart. So you're protecting your heart.
Oh. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
Mystery trauma.
Yeah, well, I mean, that it's like this brick wall of protection around you, and it's taking care of your heart. You said black.
Mm-hmm.
So some people think of black as being like an empty space, but it's really not, because black is like the culminations of all colors. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like doing the Dorothy. You have it all inside of you. Just tap your heels 3 times and say, there's no place like home.
Yeah.
There's no place like the East Side.
Yeah. True.
And that's what it is. And I can, and that's what I could read off of you.
Yeah.
And that's, and two, for me, that goes back to being around these people that were really spiritually open. That has given me this beautiful insight of watching other people and connecting with people that I don't even think that I could ever connect with, and understanding my humanness and understanding the humanness of those that are around me, whether they are in a different country that have less than I do to somebody that has way more than I do. Like, I'll tell you, there's so many people that are talking about that little submarine that exploded.
Yeah.
And there's people saying a lot of really horrible things about those people. Mm-hmm. Those people were loved. Those people were loved. Money can't buy you love, It can buy you being comfortable. It can buy you a trip to the bottom of the ocean that you'll never come back from.
Yeah.
But it can't buy, your life back.
Yeah.
And I feel sad for those that person, those people's families. I feel sad for the people that are saying the malicious, hateful things. Mm-hmm. Because we're all human. When it comes right down to it, inside of ourselves is all this energy. Mm-hmm. How did it get there? Because that's paranormal.
Yeah.
Because we don't know.
Yeah.
That's beyond our comprehension in science.
Yeah.
I want to be you when I grow up.
I know. You have so much more empathy than me.
Well, there's sometimes I don't want to have this. I want to be cold.
Yeah.
A brick wall.
Yeah. I'm too cold is the problem.
No, but I admire that. I admire that as well. Do you know why? Because that's what makes you uniquely you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Consuelo's out here changing lives and shit.
Know. I love it.
That's really cool.
Consuelo, you were talking about how, you kind of grew up with a family, that kind of brought you into, like, I guess, the spiritualism,
yes.
What keeps you drawn to it? You know what I mean? Because like some people, no matter how you're raised or your family, some people divert from that. Mm-hmm. So like, what do you think keeps you to it?
I guess like I had always wanted to be a theologist. I wanted to study theology because art and science and theology and spirituality all kind of interconnect. I've gone from doing Buddhist practice to doing Native American practice to Christian practice to reading tarot cards to using an Ouija board back in the day. You know, it just has always fascinated me. You know, because I just have always had this thirst for, like, what is bigger than me?
Yeah.
You know, where am I going to go to? I'm not scared of dying. Even though I don't know what's there, I know it's going to be different than here. You know, and I like adventure.
Yeah.
You know, I feel that, and I'm going to use the word God because that's what I call my higher power. I think that the God of my understanding is beyond words. Our vocabulary is so tiny. We don't know how to define something that great. Whether you call your higher power God, you call your higher power whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I respect you. My mom used to tell me, if you're going to believe in something, then you believe it and you stand by it.
Yeah.
You know, that's your belief. So I don't look at anybody any differently for not having the same views that I do. You know, I think that the curiosity about the occult, the curiosity about spiritualism, the curiosity about religion is basically because I just want to have this knowledge, because how can I help myself help someone else? You know, because that's basically what it comes down to for me. It's like, how can I help someone else? You know, is it saying, okay, you know, I asked my higher power, you know, what are the words that I can use to help somebody else?
Yeah.
Whether I am doing a reading on them, whether I just have this thought process in my head when somebody walks into the store or somebody is sitting next to me, like, hey, you know, I'm feeling like maybe et cetera is going on with you. Are you doing okay?
Yeah.
You know, because once again, it goes all back to being human and having this human experience together in the best way that we can.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't mean I won't kick a bitch's ass, but you know, you gotta do what
There's
you gotta
the
do.
east side.
I mean, that's still something you're doing together.
At the end of the day,
It was two people coming together.
started off on the east side, now known worldwide.
I love that.
Just felt like I got a little too serious there. Sorry.
We do it all the time.
Oh yeah. But I love the way you explain that, because I say that a lot of time, like we use God for a lack of a better term, right?
Yeah.
Because you know that, you know, you're talking to, or like, you know, communicating with something higher, or whether it's yourself or something beyond that. Like, we just use terms that our brains, like, we can comprehend to try
absolutely.
to grasp onto it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. Because there is no way that we can even comprehend something that we have absolutely no knowledge of.
Yeah.
You know, just little smatterings of what people have told us or what their perception is.
Yeah. And I think that also kind of goes back to what you were talking about, like giving your energy to people, you know, because it's kind of that same thing. It's just a different way of communicating and experiencing other people and giving them something in return. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, because life and death sit on the tip of our tongue. You know, I'm sure we've all experienced this, is that somebody can say something really negative and then somebody can say something really positive to you, and you're going to remember what that negative thing was said to you. You know? Why? Why?
Yeah, why cling to that?
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
It doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve you. You know, and that's all part of that beautiful energy, is that we use our energy to create things that are beautiful, and then all those negative things don't even matter anymore. They don't. They just wash away.
How do you differentiate between the paranormal and spirituality? Because you mentioned earlier something about the two, kind of, you know, their relation.
I think that they are interconnected, because you have to have an openness with whoever is your divine, your source, to be able to express and see the things that not everybody sees. You know, I think that you both have that. I think that she's a little bit more open to it than you are, you know, and you have your own reasons, and you're protecting your heart. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing, okay?
You're not broken.
Yeah, you're not.
I don't know about that. I'm playing.
I just want to hug you right now. But, you know, it's like, and part of it's acceptance. Acceptance that there's things that we're never going to be able to explain. And there's things that are in theology and eschatology that don't even matter, really. Because somebody else has defined it for you. You know, so I've had to grow into going like, okay, this is my spirituality. And it's all interconnected because it is paranormal. Because what is paranormal? Something that science cannot explain. I can't explain my spirituality and how I got to be how I am or what's in my heart. And I can't. It just has happened through life, through experience. I don't know why. I don't know how. And I've just been blessed with so many negative, positive, in the middle kind of things that I'm just here. No different than anybody else. No happier or sadder than anybody else. Just here experiencing what everybody else is experiencing.
I love it.
Yeah, it's really great.
Just having a good old human experience. I mean, because what else can you do?
Okay, but I want to ask you guys a question.
What?
Uh-oh.
So I know how much y'all love Zach.
Oh, Lordy.
Now, you know, prior to Zach, there was another guy that did Paranormal University, right? Did y'all ever hear about
Was it
that?
Penn State? Yeah, Paranormal State or whatever.
Paranormal State.
Yes, I remember that.
So what do you guys think about him? Because I have to tell you, I'm going to be honest with you, he's kind of one of my faves.
I didn't watch that show a lot. I remember it. And I remember, like, when I did see it, I liked it. But what?
I don't remember.
Traitor.
No, I don't remember this at all. I don't know what we're talking about.
I don't remember. Because he was in college or something.
Ryan Buell.
Yeah.
And he actually would have Ed and Lorraine, Lorraine Warren on there, and Chip Coffey, and some of the other people as well.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like the predecessor to Zach.
Yeah.
Oh, man. No, I feel like I'm going to have to go back and do some research.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to get
I haven't
informed.
seen that in forever.
I'm sorry.
It'll make you powerful.
I'm the bad daddy.
No, I think, for me personally, I think that one of the reasons me and Leah kind of started the whole ghost adventures thing is because it really was just something that we would do together.
Yeah.
Because I would go to her house every week to watch it, like we wouldn't watch it without each other. And for me, that's what it was, I think like the whole like Zaddy Zach stuff is just for like entertainment fun type, And, we ride that wave. But that's what it was for me. And we enjoyed the show. We love paranormal shit, like any kind of paranormal show. But yeah, every week I would go to her house and we would watch it. And most of the time I'd fall asleep. But it was just a comforting thing.
Yeah.
So did you guys ever think about this, that maybe y'all aren't seeking ghosts, that maybe the ghosts are seeking you, and that's why you have an interest in it?
Interesting.
Well, I think now, because we'll say to us, like each other, like we're the haunted ones, or we're, because like we'll have like experiences throughout our life, and there's different points, whether it be early childhood, middle school, high adult, and no matter where we are, something's happening. So it's like, okay, it can't be the location at this point. Like, it's got to be us. Like, what are we carrying, or what are we attracting? And we've had readings or had things done, and it's like, you guys are things like to latch on to y'all. So we have to be very mindful, and like I try to do little cleanses or just kind of speak like, hey, if you're attaching, don't. like you can't do that, because I carry enough, I think. So maybe they are looking for us.
That's that's a distinctive possibility. It just was a thought, So because I think that y'all are very, very special ladies.
Thank you.
Very special, and I just.
We're all gonna cry and hug. Stop it, everyone. No, thank you. That's awesome. Appreciate that.
I love your podcast. I love everything that you guys have to say, and I love your laughter because, again, that's sending out this energy into the world. You know, that laughter, that kindness, that jovial, guttural, like
that belly shaking.
Yeah, this is the motherfucking bomb.
And that's a real laugh too, you know. Like that's just not for the show. That's genuinely.
We have to cut half of it out. I'll tell you what.
It runs in the family. Like the whole family cackles.
Love it.
You know, when you were talking about how, you know, ghosts might be attracted to us or however you said it, because I can't articulate it as you did, it just kind of made me think about how some people in the world don't believe in the paranormal or things like, or spirits or anything like that. And it makes me sad for them because you don't experience the magic of the world, really. And sometimes I think that it's as simple as that we just believe. And so when we see something in your peripheral vision run across, you're not just like, that was nothing. You know, you're like, what was that?
Yeah, just
There's a curiosity.
Just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
Right.
For sure.
Kind of going back again to our heritage, you know, Mexican American heritage. Do you think there's anything rooted there that influences your spiritual beliefs? Because you said you were like you've delved in other things like Buddhism and, you know, theology and or theurgy, and so like does any of that?
Oh, absolutely. Because, you know, my boyfriend says that I probably have a bloodlust. I mean, I love the Aztec culture.
Oh yeah.
He bought me like this obsidian knife.
Oh.
And I was just like,
So powerful.
exactly. You know, and my brother took a trip almost all the way to South America, and he went like into the Yucatan and like all the places that have, you know, the huge pyramids, the Aztec temples, and he had suffered from horrible headaches. He still has some now, but he said, you know, and my brother calls me Chuck, so this is between us, all right? And everybody listening. He goes, Chuck, I got to tell you something. And I'm like, what, bro? He goes, I went to those temples and I never felt as powerful. The moment that I touched one, I felt so powerful. And he's like, and I haven't had a headache since.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah,
Now, he still has some, not as bad as he did. This has been many, many, many years ago that he went, but he's like, he loves visiting there.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel a connection with that.
Yeah.
You know, with the costuming, with the Native American costuming, with the drumming, you know, with the smoke, with the sage, with the incense that's burning. You know, I feel a connection with that for sure. It's like, it's just almost instinctual,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, kind of like what you were saying when you were a kid and you would make little mud potions and
Exactly.
stuff. It's like it's in
Exactly.
your DNA.
It is in my DNA, for sure, you know? It's like, I'd rather take a little hot canela tea when my stomach's hurting, you know, instead of like chugging some Pepto.
Yes. Can you discuss the role of spirituality and belief system within our communities and how they intertwine with paranormal experiences?
Oh man, well, if you think about Catholicism, you know, and I'm sure that Frank touched on this as well, in that Catholicism and with all of the beliefs of the saints, you know, and that each one of those saints has this paranormal power, you know, that, and even going back to the disciples of Christ, having this power of being able to help people see and to walk and to heal. I mean, if you believe that, you know, then that's all paranormal too. I mean, if you believe in some of the teachings of Krishna, I mean, the same thing. They're all paranormal. If you can fly on a dragon, that's paranormal, right? You know, I think that with our culture, because it's so entwined with the indigenous culture and with Catholicism, it just makes this interesting soup. This interesting soup of supernatural and ritual. You know, Because if you look at the indigenous part, we use all these herbs and teas and these sweepings to the palm leaves to sweep all the bad energy off. In Catholicism, they use the palm leaves because Christ walked on them. They help, fan all of the incense. I mean, it's very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Yeah, it's all there for sure. And yes, we did kind of touch on that a little bit with Frank of how, we have all these different deities across different cultures, and a lot of the time they're channeling into the same or similar things,
right.
Yeah.
Because they're considered intercessors to the source.
Exactly. Yes. Ooh, I love it. Coming full circle. Sorry.
We love when that happens.
Yeah. We are coming close to time, but I have a few more questions for you. I want to know, just out of curiosity, because you're very, obviously very open and sensitive and can pick up on reading people. Have you ever experienced someone trying to trick you or pull a hoax, like genuinely pull a hoax on you?
I worked on 6th Street. Yeah, they would ask me for my money. And me, pendeja, okay. You want a slice of pizza too? And a drink? All right. I get a discount next door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what about paranormal stuff? Like if someone tried to trick you because they're like, oh, she's sensitive. Let's see if I can pretend this place is haunted or something like that.
I will tell you this, is that I can read people fairly well, and I've even had an experience here where a person is creating a larger energy than what is actually in this space, because we keep it really protected. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, you're feeling that? Because I don't want to discredit them, but I already know what type of energy and what kind of protection is here in my place of work, and the type of energy that even Frank, carries and protects in his space.
Yeah.
And I trust that because he is my friend. I have had people tell me, you know what, we're gonna go back. I was in Philadelphia one time and I was like, just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna go and get my cards read. Mind you, I already knew how to read tarot cards, right? So I wear rings now, but back then I didn't. I was single, and I went into this lady that read my cards, and she was like, well, you are about to be proposed to. I can tell right now that you are right in the middle of some big change, and you definitely should come back for another reading. You're not from this town, but your next reading, it's going to be X amount of dollars. And I was like, oh, okay. And the people that were with me, they were like, you're not even dating anybody. I'm like, I know. So there are people out there like that. I had somebody come in here one day and they told me that they had gone to a card reader and that the card reader didn't charge them. It was on tip only. When the guy left the building, the card reader ran up behind them and said, I just didn't want to tell you in front of everyone, but there is just this bad energy around you, and it's somebody that's very jealous of you, and they want everything that you have. But for $700,
Oh my God.
we can do a sacrifice. A chicken doesn't cost $700. Go to Callahan's.
Yeah. Do it my damn self.
Right?
Yeah.
So there are people out there like that. And I've seen it when I've gone out to the I don't want to say it out loud, where I've witnessed and heard somebody say to somebody that they're supposed to be giving like a limpiada on, oh, you need to buy this, that, and the other, and it's going to be $1,000. I mean, I've heard it and just felt so much compassion and pity, but, had to go like, okay, this is not my place. I have to step away out and just pray for them. Pray for them. Pray for both of those people. Yeah. The person that is the predator, and then the person that's the victim. I need to pray for both of them.
Yeah. Because, I mean, there's something causing that person to pray, you know, and then, of course, the victim's a victim. They're just subject to it. So, and I mean, and there's a reason they're feeding into it.
Yeah, and there's life, and life happens. Good, bad, indifferent. Life happens.
Yeah. I feel like I know what you were talking about, though, when you're talking about people who come into the shop and explain a bigger energy than what's actually here, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that we experience quite a bit, like just people blowing things out of proportion, you know, to be a little more extravagant or something.
Right.
Yeah. We've only got a few more minutes left, but one of my last questions for you is, do you have any words of wisdom for anyone seeking out the paranormal?
Let it seek you out first.
Mic drop.
Boom. Fucking seriously, dude.
Let it seek you out. Because when you go looking for something that you have no knowledge of, you don't know what the consequences of it could be.
Right.
You know, and you have to be like very emotionally and mentally stable. If there's any fragility there, then if there is a negative energy, it's going to sweep you. You know, I don't drink. I don't do any drugs. I don't do any of that because for me, personally for me, that is an opening. I have seen beautiful, beautiful people that do drugs, and if there was ever an evil incarnate, once they put those drugs, those narcotics, those whatever in their body, they become the most demonic people I have ever met. And I love them, but that's not a demon I want to play with.
Yeah.
You'll know if it's something that you want to look into. But when you're seeking the paranormal, any of the occult, any type of spiritualism, you have to look at it across the board, at everything, not just one specific thing, because in each different religion, in each different theology, in eschatology, in all of those, you're going to find things that actually mold together and they're one. There's so many things that are similar and familiar that you'll have an idea if that's something that you want to really seek into and find. But let it find you first.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Yes.
love it. So yeah, that's pretty much our time. And I just want to say thank you so much for inviting us out here and for talking to us. And I can't wait to talk to you again.
Yeah.
I'll have more stories for you, but the thing is, for me, is I'm honored. I'm honored that you got to come and sit in a place that I love. I have this thing that I do every time I come to work. I walk through the entire store. I'll clean it, and I honor everything that's in here. I honor all the books on the shelves because it's knowledge, things that I don't know. I honor all these little curious things that the animals, all of these things that are just part of where I work. I honor all of those things. I honor the people that walk in here. I honor my boss because I care about them. And I honor you guys for giving us the opportunity to be on your podcast because you guys are doing beautiful work. And y'all are standing up for a side of town that needs a lot of love. And to have women like you that are strong, it's amazing to me. So thank you. Thank you. I honor y'all.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Why do you always make me cry? I'm not the brick wall.
Hey, it doesn't mean that I'm not touched and I don't love it. Because I am. And I'm very honored to be here. You know?
Yes.
It's a very magical place. And this has been a very magical experience.
Always welcome here. Always. You're our family. You're our community.
Yes.
And anyone who's in the Austin area listening, please come say hi to Frank and Consuelo. Come by some knowledge.
Visit Austin. It's definitely a place to check out. Yeah.
You can't miss us. We have a huge statue of Toph out in the front. Come by, I'll take your picture.
It's true. But thank you again so much. We appreciate this opportunity, our first live recording, and we couldn't have asked for anything better. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Woohoo!
We're done.
Ooh, man, that was good.
Dude, she's just like fucking, I don't know, just like mic dropping all over the place.
All
Just-
over the place. She's so cool, man. I loved it. It was a good time. She's spooky. She's in tune with stuff, and I think that was the coolest thing to really hear is just how she connects.
Yeah, to
with
source and
yeah.
spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that. That was awesome.
Yeah, for sure. She's definitely on another level. I mean, you know, and I think it's so cool that she works with Frank because they're both just on another fucking level.
Yeah, man.
And they're just such genuine, kind people, and they're just so fucking cool. And she also has like the best fucking style.
Oh my God.
Damn it.
She looks so fucking cool all the fucking time.
Every time we see her, even if we see her just like by accident, it's like, God damn it.
Like, damn it, man. The effort that she puts into that. And it's probably not even a lot of effort. Like, she just probably just does it.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is.
She just rocks it. Yeah. She
Yeah.
makes it look effortless.
Yeah, she really
Anyways,
does.
like, I just,
I couldn't
every
do it.
time I see her, I'm like, oh, damn it, I wish.
It would take me hours to try to look like that. She's just so cool, man. But even with all that, I'm still feeling a little heavy, and I think we need a cleanse.
Let's do.
Give me the power I beg of you. Give me the power I beg of you. L'envoi me sied de Bois-Chariot. Ce soir et tiens au bois de mort. Allez, tu es
Take a big, deep breath in. Release that sucker out. Yes, you're cleansed.
I feel it, man. My butt cheeks unclenched, and I felt it. Oh, that was nice.
Don't let them too loose.
That's the problem I got.
Anyways, everybody, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Come back next week, and we'll be releasing part 2 with Frank. And
Shit, part 3 with Frank. Part 3, which is part 2 of Frank, but then we'll have part 4, which is part 2 of Consuelo. It's gonna be wild.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good time. But until then, Payuj. I'm Bethany.
And I'm Leah.
And I'm signing off. Leah staying.
Dang! I guess it's just Paranormal Puta now. Bye, y'all.
It's just Puta. I'm the paranormal. I'm kidding. Anyways, Payuj. I'm Bethany.
And I'm Leah.
And we're signing off with 2 besitos.
From these patitos. Quit scratching my cat.
I hate you.
That's good.